So if you just tuned in, we just saw Joshua Schmidt completely dominating the second and the third game in a. I'm not sure if it's completely dominating.
Well, his deck was just far more consistent than the Cyber Angels. However, that first game was amazing.
That first game was completely dominated
yeah.
by the Cyber Angels of Francesco Simoncelli, who did come far. I mean, he's 4-1, now he's 4-2. Still a very good chance to advance to day 2, so we're going to probably see him again tomorrow. We saw Pendulum versus Cyber Angels, and like you said initially in our pre-match discussion, this is the deck that Joshua Schmidt introduced to us yesterday. We recorded it yesterday. We're going to show it to you guys at some point. I'm not sure if we showed it already.
Yeah.
I think he actually came across the deck because one of his friends played it.
Yeah.
And he saw it, and I was like, "This looks like fun. I want to play this."
Yeah.
Then you walked by.
Well, I saw him. It was Joshua was teaching Eugen how to play.
Yeah. They basically they said the first guy played it. Joshua liked it. He was like, "Let me play this. Let me try this." Figured it out. Then Eugen was like, "This looks like fun. Can I play this?" And so they passed on the knowledge and added some more input. Everybody did until they came up with like some really cool moves. And then you saw this and you were like, "Hey, Joshua, can you run us through it?"
Yeah.
And he did. And now he just did again. Especially in, I would say, in that second game where we saw there was a good setup for the Cyber Angels deck.
Yeah.
3 negations against a lot of decks, that is enough.
Yeah, that's a fair amount.
If you cannot play 3 of your cards, or if they just gonna be negated,
get blanked.
Yeah, very often you're just gonna be like, okay, this is not gonna be winnable.
Yeah.
But like you said, the consistency of the Pendulum deck pulled through.
Yeah, definitely.
And he just had so many cards that he could play that the 4th card was indeed the magic one, and then got him the upper hand.
Yeah.
All right. So what do you make of this? Is Cyber Angels not quite there yet at the moment?
I think that it's definitely there. There's potential for this here. I personally don't like the idea of playing cards that you never want to draw. So advanced ritual art in this is a little bit iffy for me. But I preferred the more consistent version with like Cyber Petite Angel. That's a new card from Dragons of Legend, as well as all the other kind of. I played multiple Manjus, multiple Senjus as well.
Right.
To really increase the consistency of this deck. So I preferred that version, not so much this version, but still he had his power ceiling was much higher than mine.
That is definitely true. We saw that in the first game when Benton was really putting in some extra
Valkyrus Tribute Benton from hand.
Yeah.
It's a +2.
That was extremely strong play. Yeah. And he did even do more fancy moves with Benton, with the Herald of Perfection. So it is a powerful deck. I guess it's really good if your opponent is not prepared for it. Joshua, of course, is one of the players that he loses to it in the first game, and then he's immediately, like, his brain is
taking over.
And then he's like, okay, and this is how I have to do it. Second game, he has the perfect game plan.
Yeah.
And a good sideboard, of course.
Yeah.
Good sideboard. And another thing we saw quite a couple of times this weekend, the Kaijus seem to be popping up more and more and more.
Yeah.
Like, I asked at some point, is it going to be a real deck? Nope, it's always going to be a splash, is what you said earlier.
Yeah, I think it's very splashable.
But they seem to be really flexible, providing you with an out against anything.
Yeah, but I think that's all they are. But I'm not saying that's not good.
No,
that is all they are. They can't really produce a full deck to themselves.
It's kind of surprising. I mean, there was a time when you would hand over Lava Golem happily to your opponent just to make sure you can get rid of some of the monsters that he has.
Yeah.
And then you had a really big threat to overcome.
Yeah.
But now it's a very different story.
Yeah, it's a 200 attack monster.
Yeah, it's manageable. Manageable in the current meta game.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that you wanna tell the viewers who just tuned in? You missed this in our feature match.
I think they need to go back and watch that first game. I'm very much looking forward to seeing what Joshua has to say about this whole thing.
Right. Let's not spoil it anymore, guys. Let's bring him in. Let's ask Joshua Schmidt what he thinks about that feature match, and we're gonna be right back.
Hello, guys. Welcome back to YCS Rimini 2016. I'm here with Joshua. Hey,
Hey.
nice to see you again.
Thanks.
And we're going to talk about what just happened because that first match was entirely insane.
I mean, yeah, like I opened exactly what I wanted to open. It's like one of the best opens I can have.
Yeah.
Like barring any rank 4s in addition to it, but like Kirin plus Vortex is pretty good, right? But like,
What went through your mind when you just thought to yourself, like, do you ever, like, 'cause you've been in the feature match a few times, do you ever
Yeah.
think, like, why am I in the feature match? Is it because because it's me playing here, or is it because
I
I'm
mean,
playing
as
against
soon
something
as he started
interesting?
playing, I understood why I was here.
Okay, yeah, but that must be so scary when your opponent just says, "Oh, that monster you've got that could negate my stuff. Can you just have this
Yeah,
kaiju
that's
monster
actually
instead?"
the only way that I lost my last round. The only loss that I
Oh,
had
the
so far
mermail.
was yeah, because
Yeah.
he let me go first, which is really weird against Pendulum, and I
Mhm.
opened like Kirin and stuff, and I was like, okay, it's looking good, but he just
Yeah.
like kaiju'd me and like OTK me. He's like, please not again. Like
Yeah. Yeah, that first game, you weren't
yeah.
looking too happy at all after that first game.
Yeah, I mean, like he can't ask for any better hand.
No.
He had it all. Like he had the pre-prepped out for the Vortex, the Valkyries with the advanced ritual. I was like, all right, then I guess
Yeah.
I lose.
That was crazy. But the fact you can play Valkyrus and tribute Benton from hand,
Yeah,
that's crazy. That's just a +2.
I told you yesterday.
Yeah, I didn't realize until I actually saw it happen when you know you get like two whole light fairies from it, which
Yeah.
is just crazy. So you obviously went with Pendulum. Do
Yeah.
you still think that you're gonna go ahead and play Cyber Angels next format?
I might. I actually haven't tried it in the next format since like the ban list came out a few
Mhm.
days ago. I've tried it with this ban list,
Mhm.
and I came to the conclusion that it was not strong enough for
Mhm.
this format. But I'm gonna definitely retry it for next format. So
Yeah.
who knows?
How do you feel about the version that he was? So obviously we talked a lot yesterday
Yeah.
about the deck in the deck profile, which you guys can catch on YouTube and Twitch
Yeah.
replays and everything. And how do you feel about the version that he was playing
So
with the
from
normal
what I've been
monsters?
seeing, I think he did what I said. He did only play the Benton
Mhm.
and no other Cyber Angels,
Yeah.
which is alright. Like I said, I think that's fine. And the Valkyries, I've been looking for a way to include Valkyries because it's a really good card, especially
Mhm.
with Benton or just like anything in general. Also fills your graveyard for Christia. Everything is like a pretty good card, but I've always been like kind of I'm afraid to play like normal monsters and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So I
it
haven't.
super scares
Yeah.
me. Ever since I played, this is going a few years back now. I played Harpies with Harpies Pet Dragon. I always drew the Pet
Yeah.
Dragon.
I mean, like in Herald, it's alright because you can discard the fairies, I
Yeah.
guess. But like, still, there's that risk where you do break if you play. Like, what was he playing? He was at least playing 2 Gyakuten Megami,
Yeah,
and
and
so he
Shine
was
Balls too.
probably also playing triple Shine Ball, so he can make Herald with it. So that's like 5 vanillas already at least. So
Yeah, it's a lot of cards that
it's not for me.
you don't want to draw, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what do you feel about like fitting even more Necros cards in there?
It might be good. I don't know. We don't have Shard anymore. It's like,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
sad.
a little bit of sadness for sure there.
Yeah.
Okay, so enough about your opponent's deck.
hmm
Is this a deck that's going to take you all the way to the top?
I hope so. I do
Yeah?
think it's the best deck that I could have brought to this event, though.
Yeah. Is there anything special about your deck that you think, oh, that's the special?
I mean, it's basically the deck that I played at Euros, just with modifications
Yeah.
because of the new set with Powder Desires. Because, like I told you in the interview in Berlin that I added the Magicians because I couldn't get to good 40 cards just with Odd Eyes Performapal, but now I
Yeah.
could because I could play pots and stuff, and so I just like maxed out on a lot of stuff. It's a very like cookie cutter list. There's a lot of 3-ofs simply
Yeah.
because of Powder Desires dynamics.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So talk us about the new cards that you've added. So the Radish
So
Horse
there's a
and Mirage Dragon.
Okay, so the Mirage Dragon is just like the reasoning behind it is the same that was the reason for playing Dragon Pit, is because it's an 8 scale, an additional 8 scale to Odyssey Unicorn that has a decent level if you want to pop it with Sorcerer, and you can search it with Skyr. So whenever you're gonna summon Sorcerer anyways and pop your scales, you're gonna grab the Mirage Dragon instead of the Unicorn because that actually has some benefits to it if you destroy it with the Sorcerer. And since 3 8 scales are not enough anyways, you're gonna play another one. So yeah. It's perfect.
Yep.
The effect doesn't really matter. I haven't used it yet, but it's not a bad effect, but it's just like it's mainly there for level 3
Yeah.
scale. And the Radish Horse is also new level 4 Performapal low scale, which is just in there because I want more Performapal targets for Pendulum Sorcerer because I am gonna banish a couple with Pot of Desires
Yeah.
on average. Like definitely like 2 or 3, I think, or 2 maybe. and especially because Sorcerer cannot search another Sorcerer, it's kind of hard to get another low scale off of Pendulum Sorcerer. If Monkey Board's already gone, there's only the one Light Phoenix, and if you would hit that with Pot of Desires, you're obviously like kind of screwed. So just like that additional low scale, and the effect's also quite good. Like you saw in the last turn in the feature match, it kind of does the same thing as Oddeyes Unicorn.
Yeah,
where instead of boosting your Oddeyes, it reduces the opponent's monster by the attack of your Performer Pal. So like I actually just did 8,000 damage straight over the Valkyries because
which was that was pretty good. So how do you feel about this deck after the list?
It's not dead actually. It does survive.
I agree with you.
It does survive. It does need some changes, but just the fact that the other decks also they also take heavy hits, it definitely benefits from that. But you can definitely play without Monkey Board because like. I'm hitting it with Pot of Desires like consistently today, so and it's still working. It's fine. You just have to worry a little bit about the Kirin. That's like a little bit of a bigger problem actually than the Monkey Board. But you still have triple Bambuku, one Kirin, and Abducted Searches. So it might survive. It might actually benefit from the fact that maybe Anti-Spell Fragrance is not going to be as popular anymore. But we will have to see about that.
Yeah, I mean, so this deck without Monkey Board was still functioning at the World Championships.
Exactly.
So there was those people still able to play it there.
It does work.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about your side deck. So I've seen a lot of people who were playing Pendulum, and we have on the feature match table, playing Kaiku.
Yeah, that's what I played at Euros. It's like the side deck is very close to what I played at Euros. And Kaiko has always been the best card against Monarch in Pendulum, simply because you don't need to spend your normal summon on it, which is usually the problem with a card like Kaiku. And you basically, like, if you have Kaiku on the board, you don't have to worry about any normal Monarch stuff. They can't activate Ether, they can't activate Prime. Because they can't activate Ether, Stormforth is also nothing you have to worry about. So, like, as soon as you have Kaiko on the board, the only thing that worries you is stuff like Twin Twister. And if you are able to set up scales through Twin Twister, Kaiku just basically completely wins you the game, because it's so easy to OTK with this deck if Monarch can't, like, Prime Ether, Stormforth, stuff like that. It's very
if they're not
easy.
going to interrupt your plays, you can just play loads of attack points.
So like main differences from my European Championship deck list are the Kaijus, which are mainly in here because of Blue Eyes. I mean, I did consider them for Euros as well, but like Blue Eyes wasn't very big back then, and also because they are kind of good against other decks as well. I cited them just now for Herald. I do cite them against stuff like Fire King Cosmo. Like there's a lot of stuff. Infinity, Kirin, Vortex Dragon, Apex Avian, a lot of stuff that's like really good to get rid of. So yeah, I've been waiting for a good opportunity to put it in, and now with Blue Eyes being a little bit better, that's how it got in there. Also,
So Secret Village, have you managed to like just outright win any games with Secret Village today?
You asked me the same thing at Euros.
Yeah, well,
today
it's always interesting.
Today so far no, but at Euros it was really, really good, and it is really, really strong. You go first against Monarchs, also against Blue Eyes it's really good, and against the Cyber Angel I also sided it. I think if I would have opened with it, would have also been really, really strong, because like, what is he going to do?
You just can't play prep or pre-prep, right?
The pre-prep he always has, so.
He had it quite a few games. Okay, so one last thing. Did you manage to get the Utopia Beyond play at all?
Yes, I beat a Dark Planet in round 3 for 8,000.
Wow, that's really cool. Right, well, best of luck in the rest of the rounds.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your win. Hopefully we see you here again tomorrow.
Hope so too.
And we're going to be right back with even more matches from YCS Rimini 2016.